Does the constant barrage of manipulated media distort perception and fuel societal polarization? The answer, unsurprisingly, is a resounding yes. Tiffany Sue, a reporter for the New York Times, astutely observed that prolonged exposure to manipulated media intensifies polarization and erodes the viewer's capacity and readiness to distinguish between truth and fiction. Now, while platforms like TikTok aren't inherently negative, their misuse often leads to the proliferation of misinformation, or as it's now commonly termed, an infodemic. But how does one safeguard oneself in such a scenario? The answer lies in the act of verification. An age-old principle rooted in Islam advises that any news, regardless of its source, should undergo thorough verification before acceptance. This principle was put to the test during the Israel-Palestine crisis, with the spread of a false story regarding the beheading of 40 Israeli babies. This story, upon examination, proved to be baseless. By adhering to this principle, we arm ourselves against the onslaught of fake news. Every time we encounter a news article or video online, we must question its source and credibility. This simple act of verification not only lets us discern fact from fiction, but also enhances our immunity against the infodemic. Research published in the Psychology of Learning and Motivation echoes this sentiment. It advises that the source of any information should always be scrutinized. For instance, if a chef offers advice on cancer, one should recognize that this falls outside their area of expertise. In doing so, the truth often unravels itself. In conclusion, the issue isn't the inherent nature of things, but rather how we choose to use them. Just as researchers are now beginning to acknowledge, the wisdom of this principle, established over 14 centuries ago by Islam, is as relevant today as it was then. TikTok, or any other social media platform for that matter, is no exception.